I was living in Tampa, Florida, and I heard a noise outside my house. I walked outside and I saw some dude flying, a paraglider looking thing over my house with a motor. I had never seen one before, and as a child I had always dreamed of flying, and when I saw somebody doing it, I was struck to the heart, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to do that. I remember I immediately went to my laptop and I started just searching everything I could possibly search to try to figure out what I just saw. And I, within probably 10 minutes discovered that it was called paramotoring, or PPG, powered paragliding. Some crazy dude just said, you know what, this thing will give me lift if I can put thrust on my back. And I'm sure there's smarter people out there that can tell you the history of it, but somebody put a motor on their back and, was able to take flight. And I started binging YouTube videos. I just was so mesmerized, like the adrenaline of just watching the videos was indescribable. I was married with smaller kids at home, did not have a lot of margin in our budget, and decided to drive Uber just to raise extra money. So I think it took maybe a year or so, and saved up just enough money to get into the jankiest rig you could find. The wing was old, the motor was old, and it got me a good 9 flights. I was just magical, flying over my neighborhood and where I lived. A literal bird's eye view. I never could imagine what it would look like, and I was just struck. Then things started breaking and we needed some extra money to go on vacation, so I sold it all and didn't fly again until I moved up here to North Carolina. And then I saw the mountains here and I thought, oh man, here it comes again. I have to fly. I took to the air again with my second rig and I've been flying all year long. Everybody sees it. And when I first started flying, every day I would have a coworker or a colleague say, hey, James, were you flying yesterday? And so it's a very public hobby that everyone sees. And so if I meet someone I don't know and I'll introduce myself, inevitably I'll just say, have you seen that guy flying up around Boone? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, that's me. And so there's instant common ground, like, oh yeah, I've seen you fly. And so it's very peculiar in that way.
I live right beside the Boone Airport, and one morning about 7 o'clock in the morning, I hear this zing, and I look out and there's somebody flying from the airport, not a plane, just have a parachute and something on their back. And I'm like, oh my God, I have got to know how to do that. What is that? So anyway, I went to work, didn't think any more about it. Well, he was flying regularly after. I saw him 5 or 6 times. And so I went into devotions. I was like, has anybody seen this guy flying around right before devotions? And they were like, yeah, that's James. I was like, James who? They said, James Dogfight over here. It's like, okay. So, yeah, so I ran over to his office, I think, and said, hey, what is this? I have got to learn how to do this. What do I do? What's it called? How much does it cost? And then I spent a lot of time in his office asking him a whole lot of questions. My daughter would tell you that I used to say, whenever there's a jetpack that is out there for regular people, I will be getting one. And yeah, I mean, I've even told the Lord, like, yeah, I know you don't make people angels or anything, but I'm going to want to fly when I get to heaven, so you're going to have to work all that out. So, okay, so yes, I am afraid of heights. But this is not heights. This is
It's freedom.
yeah, this is freedom, unlimited freedom.
Yeah.
And being able to commune with God and nature.
There's going to be moments in your journey where fear is going to punch you in the face and try to bully you into not doing this. I've had to traverse a few mountains of fear, all different reasons. You know, the cost. You know, I had a bad landing. There was turbulence, and it strikes fear in you, and you think, "Oh man, do I want to hang up my wing forever?" And knowing ahead of time that those are coming and being prepared for them helps you to navigate them. So I remember we were putting Wendy's new motor together.
Oh, yeah.
She put the motor on her back for the first time, and she felt the 50 pounds on her back, and it was tough. And I saw her.
Saw the fear in my face?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
How did you navigate that?
Well, fortunately, like you said, I knew fear was going to be coming because I'd seen some videos of women talking about how there's a fear of the motor that you really have to overcome, which I can see that because I'm a woman who, you know, the smarter of the sexes lives the longest, and so I don't mess with sawzalls and I don't mess with chainsaws, and so it's a mental thing there that I've got to come over.
You know, that propeller's spinning 400 miles right, 8 inches behind your head. You know, because people make excuses as to why, well, I can't. And if anyone has an excuse to why they can't fly, my friend Wendy does, but you're refusing to let that shackle you down.
Fear's really crippling, and it's just not something that I want to navigate my life by.
And by nature, I'm a little rebellious, and I refuse to let something be the boss of me. You know, like God for sure, the Creator, my life is His, but like, I don't want caffeine, I don't want being overweight, I don't want anything being the boss of me. And so up until a year ago, gravity was the boss of me, but not anymore. Now I tell gravity, what's up? Where are you at now? Never thought that it would be possible, or I would live in a day where personal recreational flight was possible, much less accessible, and that I have a technical aircraft in my basement and I can take it out and fly. The wings have become way more stable, and the technology and reliability of the motors, and it's just gotten better and better. And I honestly don't know why everyone doesn't fly. Like,
well, I just can't imagine somebody not wanting to do this.
It's one thing to fly. Like, I have a bunch of friends who fly in Florida, but not many people have the privilege of flying here in Northwest North Carolina, where you see nature in all its splendor. And it's not just flat topography. I mean, there's just three-dimensional hills and trees and mountains that take your breath away, and I can't imagine it ever getting old. Like, I think if I lived in Florida, I would probably fly for 5 or 6 years and it might get old. I don't see this getting old. once you've flown over this area for the first time, everything changes. You don't drive the same. You don't look at the trees the same. You think, I know what that hill looks like from the top. Those cell towers way up there, I've flown over them, you know, like, and so you end up driving with your head up, and it's just because you've seen the world from a different perspective. And so it's just, even where things are, like where the high school is and where the rec center is and where this park is, it looks so different from the sky, and it gives you context to when you're walled in by trees and hills, you don't see life the same. But when you've seen it from 5,000 feet and you've seen it from a different perspective, it changes everything. I will never look at this community the same because I've seen it from thousands of feet in the air. For the person watching this video, you know, you could probably make a list of a dozen excuses as to why not. And I will tell you, it's worth it. Like, the freedom of running into the sky and being able to fly, there's just nothing like it. And so it's worth it. It's going to be difficult. There's always going to be challenges, but just refuse to give up. If you don't give up, you win. If you don't give up, you win.
And you get to find out who you truly are, because if you don't step outside of fear and your comfort zone, you're going to be stuck in the same boring life.
Yeah.
So I really just had to battle the fear and say, no, you know, I'm not going to let you keep me down on the ground forever. This is something that I want to do. I know I can do it, and I am just not allowing myself to. So yeah. But I still haven't flown yet, so more to come.